What if I told you that an entire village disappeared overnight? No survivors. No bodies. No signs of violence. Just warm meals left on tables, dogs frozen to death, and graves, freshly dug and emptied. This isn't fiction. This isn't a legend. It's a real case, documented and investigated, then later erased from official records. This is the Lake Anjikuni mystery, a story so strange, it's been buried for nearly a century. But tonight, we're digging it back up. Detective Mystery Harbour presents The Town That Vanished Overnight, the Lake Anjikuni Mystery. The story begins in the frigid November of 1930, deep in the Canadian wilderness. Joe LaBelle, a seasoned fur trapper and bushman, was heading toward a remote Inuit village on the shores of Lake Anjikuni in Nunavut. He had visited the village many times. He knew the people. He was even friends with some of them. As he approached the village, LaBelle noticed something strange. There was no smoke coming from the chimneys. No children playing. No distant sound of voices, dogs, or drums. Just the howling wind and heavy silence. He entered the first hut. It was empty, but a fire still burned in the hearth, and a pot of stew was cooking over the flame. He checked the next home. Same thing, recently occupied, but no people. He rushed from hut to hut, calling out names, hoping someone would respond. But the village, home to over 30 people, was completely deserted. LaBelle's concern turned to panic when he stumbled upon something deeply unsettling. A team of sled dogs, all tied up, all dead, frozen and starved. This didn't make sense. The Inuit depended on these dogs for survival. Abandoning them meant certain death in these harsh conditions. Even stranger, no signs of a struggle. No blood. No signs of forced entry. All belongings, including weapons and food supplies, were untouched. And then, he discovered something that sent chills down his spine. Several graves in the village cemetery had been dug up. But not like a looter would. Neatly, carefully. And the bodies? Missing. Frightened and confused, LaBelle raced through the freezing wilderness to the nearest telegraph station to alert authorities. When the Royal Canadian Mounted Police arrived days later, they expected to find a misunderstanding. But what they discovered only deepened the mystery. The entire village was still empty, completely silent. No footprints or sled tracks led away from the village, despite heavy snow on the ground. The fires in the homes had burned down, but signs suggested they'd been stoked just days earlier. And just like LaBelle said, the dogs were dead, the graves were empty, and everything was left behind. Some of the Mounties were so disturbed by the scene, they requested immediate reassignment. The case was logged. Investigations started. And then, everything went silent. Around the same time, a trapper named Armand Laurent, located many miles away from the village, reported something strange. He and his sons had witnessed a massive, pulsating blue light in the sky moving toward the Lake Anjikuni area. He described it as cylindrical and buzzing, with an eerie hum. It hovered. Then shot upward and vanished. Locals were terrified. This wasn't the aurora borealis, they knew what that looked like. This was something else. Something mechanical. Intelligent, unnatural. Some believe this was a UFO sighting, possibly explaining the mass disappearance. It wouldn't be the first time a community vanished after strange lights appeared in the sky, so what happened to the people of Lake Anjikuni? Let's explore the most popular and disturbing theories. Some historians suggest the village may have moved due to harsh weather or famine. But that doesn't explain. Why leave food and weapons behind? Why abandon sled dogs? Why dig up graves? Why no tracks in or out of the village? Could an unknown group have killed or kidnapped the entire village? But again, no signs of violence, blood, or struggle. No bodies. No sounds. No reports of conflict from nearby settlements. It would have required military-level precision and stealth to pull off. Some believe Lake Anjikuni became the site of a clandestine experiment gone wrong, perhaps chemical or radiation testing. After all, the RCMP later denied the event ever occurred, even though newspapers and witnesses confirmed it at the time. All official files disappeared. Why cover it up unless there was something dangerous or unexplainable to hide? This one seems wild, until you connect the dots. A blue light in the sky. An entire village vanishes in one night. No tracks, no bodies, no noise. Historical parallels with other alleged mass abductions around the world. Could something not of this world have taken an entire community and erased the evidence? Here's the most baffling part. Years after the incident, the RCMP issued a statement saying the Lake Anjikuni story was just a legend, a myth that got out of control. They claimed no such village ever existed. But journalists from the Ottawa Herald and other papers wrote about it in 1930. Joe LaBelle gave a first-hand account. Even the Mounties' own logs referenced the investigation, before those logs were mysteriously removed from public record. Why deny it? Could it be because something truly unexplainable happened at Lake Anjikuni? Or because the truth was too terrifying to be made public? The truth is, no trace of the villagers has ever been found. Not a single person, not a single body. They simply disappeared. To this day, the mystery of Lake Anjikuni remains one of the most chilling and unexplained mass vanishings in history. And the deeper you dig, the stranger it gets. What happened to the people of Lake Anjikuni? Were they victims of a natural disaster? A forgotten massacre? Or something not of this earth? We may never know. But one thing is certain, this village didn't just disappear. It was erased. Right finger, what do you think happened? Drop your theory in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because on Mystery Harbor, the world's strangest stories are just beginning.